Imagine you're driving at high speed with your pregnant girlfriend. Now she's driving, not you. In comes a text message from a woman. She assumes that you're cheating. You're not, but she assumes that you're cheating. And she decides to drive the car off the road and get you killed. But when the police show up, she says absolutely nothing and acts like it was an accident. How did they end up finding out the truth? This story will shock you. The caption of this video reads, "Man wakes up from coma and tells police girlfriend tried to kill him in car crash." No more wasting time. Let's get it.
It was a horrible car crash with a couple trapped in the wreckage. Cops investigated it as an accident until the boyfriend woke up in the hospital. And what they say he told them is shocking, accusing his girlfriend of intentionally crashing their car in a jealous rage. Wes Trent has the details.
A young couple has been in a horrible car accident. Police say this Honda was going 95 miles an hour before it slammed into a thicket of mangrove trees. 24-year-old Leah Mumby is screaming for help. She believes her boyfriend, 22-year-old Daniel Waterman, is dead.
She hoped.
Longitude minus. Oh, Daniel, wake up, please. Daniel, wake up.
Leah is not aware that Daniel's iPhone has automatically called 911.
The owner of this iPhone was in a severe car crash and is not responding to their phone.
Daniel took the brunt of the crash, sitting in the passenger seat, suffering a broken neck and back. Doctors put him in a medically induced coma. At first, police thought it was a tragic accident. But then, in a moment straight out of a movie, when Daniel Waterman woke from the coma, he told them it was not an accident. He couldn't speak, but with the help of a special letterboard, he slowly printed out a tale that has heads spinning. His girlfriend, he wrote, tried to kill him. He communicated that Leah had just told him she was pregnant. He said she was also jealous about texts he'd received from another woman. Then he literally spelled out for them that Leah drove off the highway and slammed into the trees on purpose. "I don't care what happens, you'll get what you deserve," he quoted her as saying. After 8 months of battling to stay alive, Daniel died. I spoke to his mother and aunt.
It was something that was so heartbreaking as a mom. It's like, how could someone do this to my son?
Leah Mumby was arrested as she arrived at the hospital to visit Daniel. The charge, vehicular homicide.
This is just disgusting.
There's no doubt in my mind that it was anything but an intentional accident.
Leah Mumby has pleaded not guilty to vehicular homicide. She reportedly told cops she didn't remember anything leading up to that crash.
Liar. Think about this. If he would have passed away and didn't get a chance to actually tell the truth, she would have gone the rest of her life. The rest of her life kept that to herself and found another poor guy who should have made that man's life a living hell. People like this exist, man. They exist. And just to think that there are people who have gotten away with this and they're walking the earth today is wild. Let's take a quick moment here to thank the sponsor of our channel, fathershaverights.com. In our prenup guide at fathershaverights.com, one of our expert attorneys explains it clearly. When you get married, your upside might be infinite. A great marriage is a beautiful and wonderful thing, not just for you, but for the family that you plan to build with your future wife. But without a prenup, your downside is also infinite, meaning there is no limit to your losses. That's why you need a prenuptial agreement. And although a prenup cannot protect you from things like custody or child support, what a prenup can do is set clear expectations inside the marriage, which often reduces false expectations and discourages divorce in the first place because both parties know what's at stake. If you're engaged, proposing, or soon to be married, click the link pinned to the top of the comment section and join the hundreds of men securing their future marriages the right way. Let's check out some of these comments here that people have to say. Top comment here says, "It wouldn't be the first time. Remember Mackenzie Sharilla?" Somebody else here says, "Y'all missing the fact that God woke him up with all his memory to be able to get justice for his family, and hopefully his family takes custody of his baby." Right. She should not be allowed to keep that baby. She should not be allowed to keep that baby. She needs to give that baby up for adoption. And what if she knew she wasn't going to keep that baby and decides to get rid of it? Evil, right? That's the type of evil that would be allowed depending on the state that she's in.
The man is dead after a crash investigators say was no accident.
His former girlfriend is now charged with vehicular homicide. West 2's Pamela Coma talked with the victim's family members who say they won't rest until there's justice.
A Flagler County woman faces a new charge this week, vehicular homicide. Her boyfriend, 22-year-old Daniel Waterman, recently died from injuries from a crash in February.
Our mission in life right now, is a promise we made to Daniel to seek justice, not just a slap on the hand, but to seek justice.
Waterman's family says this is a step in the right direction. Troopers say Waterman and 24-year-old Leah Mumby were arguing on I-95 when she allegedly said, quote, "I don't care what happens, you'll get what you deserve." Moments later, Mumby is accused of intentionally swerving off the road, and Waterman was in the hospital for months.
We were there with him all the time. He was never alone.
Mumby was previously arrested for reckless driving and aggravated battery. After Daniel's death in October, those charges were upgraded, and Wednesday she was booked into the county jail.
I know when she did get rearrested, she was in and out in about 37 minutes. It's hard to see justice in that so far.
Now the family's waiting for their day in court while also fighting for custody of Waterman's newborn child, whom he never got to meet.
That's our mission, undying mission.
And that's all he wanted. So that's all I could see in those pictures. It's him with his baby and how good of a dad he would be and how much love he would have to give to that child.
Covering Flagler County, Pamela Coma, West 2 News.
Mumby's next court date is scheduled for November 9th now.
Somebody else who says terrible. He died, but great. He had a chance to tell what really happened. Somebody else who says maybe being single isn't so bad. This person who says, I believe him. The person who added her screaming after she knew what she did. She's screaming because she got caught. God gave him one last gift before he brought him home, justice. Here's somebody else who says, battled for 8 months and then died. That's crazy. R.I.P., my man. That's a damn shame.
Oh. Hi, sweetheart. I'm so happy to see you open your eyes, hon. Don't try to struggle. Stay relaxed, okay? You're getting better little by little, okay? Love you, honey. Sweetheart. Stevie sent you this nice stuff. No.
All right. So say hello to your mom. She's coming tonight. She'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Say hi, Mama. Hi, Aunt Tiffany. Love you.
Just in case, tell her hi.
Hi. Hi, Mom.
I love it.
Okay, come on.
What? Third one. Right there, yeah.
Asks. 2 asks. Where? This one? This one?
No.
This one? This one? Tell me when to stop.
Right, the first one.
This one?
Yep.
So to discuss this just awful case, I want to bring in Daniel Waterman's aunt. She is Tiffany Waterman, and also the family's lawyer, John Hager. Thank you to both of you for joining me today. Tiffany, I'll start with you. First of all, I want to offer my condolences to you and the rest of Daniel's family for the loss that you're going through and just everything. It's just horrific. How are you and Daniel's mom and the rest of the family doing?
It's tough, very tough. Every day it's hard.
Tell me about Daniel. What do you want people to know about him? What kind of guy was he?
I'm horrible at this. It's so fresh right now. I think that's why it's very hard to discuss. He was wonderful. What I want everyone to know is he was just starting his adulthood. He was just maturing, realizing about life and what it really means. And it was beautiful to see him becoming the man he was going to be before that ended too abruptly. He was always an athlete his entire life. He was so strong. He was 6'5". He was a big guy. And he was the best cousin to my children who looked up to him. He could do no wrong ever. He was definitely about family. He loved us just so deeply. It's just sad because everything was just cut way too short.
What sports did he play?
He played, if he tried at any sport, he was amazing. He was the best. His passion was basketball, though.
Yeah, being 6'5", I think that would make him a pretty good basketball player.
Very good.
When this happened, take me back to when this happened. I just can't even imagine getting that call that he's been in this horrific crash.
Yes. I was sleeping in bed. I'm a boring, mother too. So, sleeping in bed, and it's a little after 2 a.m. and I got the phone call from my grandmother, and she had already spoken to my sister, his mother, and she told me about the crash, and she said it doesn't look good. He's probably not going to make it, and it just killed me.
He was in the hospital fighting for so long, and it sounded like there was hope that he could make it. And then, he wakes up from this coma and, he's able to communicate that this was intentional. I mean, what was the family's reaction when that happened?
I think we were more concentrating on that he was able to come to. Just watching him come to was absolutely amazing. It actually took us a little while to try to understand he was trying to tell us something. You have to just imagine, put yourself there coming out of a coma. It was induced coma, and we were able to use an alphabet letter board, and we pointed to every single letter until he spelled it out, and he spelled out an entire statement.
There is a baby involved in all of this, and it sounds like you guys, we were talking before we started, that your family has kind of been kept in the dark about the baby and the birth of the baby. And Daniel, it seems like, believed the baby was his baby. So talk to me a little about this part of that, of the story.
Okay, so we have been definitely kept in the dark. There hasn't been any communication between our party or the opposite party. Daniel was looking forward to meeting his baby, holding his baby, and raising his baby. That, I think, is what kept him going in the hospital. He would try to do exercises and strengthen his arm and say, I'm going to be able to hold my baby. I'm going to get out of here. So it's definitely something he was looking forward to. But we have no information or details about anything. The only thing we did know when accident initial happened, she was in communication with us, and she did, send some updates and sonogram pictures, and we did find out it was a girl. So that is basically the extent of our knowledge of the entire pregnancy.
And the baby was born. Leah did give birth.
I have no details on the birth whatsoever, but we have heard, yes, that she has had the baby. Her due date was October 10th, so that is to be expected.
John, talk to me about what you're doing to assist the family.
Well, for the family, this is unknown territory. This is something they've never had to deal with. I've been a prosecutor for several years and now criminal defense attorney. So I know the process very well. I know the prosecutors involved, and I know the system. And what I'm trying to do is just to be the one to tell them each and every step of the way what's going on and what the next step is and what to expect, and to just really enlighten them on any questions they have to facilitate, their communications with the state attorney's office. If the state attorney's office needs something for them or requests anything from them, I'm just there to facilitate that.
Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link into the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.